Executive office space for GeekTyrant's coverage of Sundance, provided by Office Evolution Salt Lake. Office Evolution offers affordable executive office space for the professional on the go. Office Evolution. Your business, your dream, our team. Check them out at officeevolution.com.
This is the future. This is the year 1997.
Welcome to this GeekTyrant.com Sundance review of Turbo Kid. This movie was freaking amazing. It had 3 directors. They considered themselves a hive mind, and collaboratively, they put an awesome show for us together. I mean, this movie was just hands down awesome.
Takes place in a post-apocalyptic 1997, y'all.
1997.
So it's an 80s version of the future.
Yeah,
it's reflected in the tone of the film. It's reflected in the production design,
the sound, the music,
everything,
the acting, the
Everything.
dialogue.
I think as long as you're on board with that, which
The movie is ridiculous and cheesy, but the movie knows what it is. It knows that it's ridiculous and cheesy, and so it uses that as its strength to tell this story of this kid who is
on his own.
on his own. He goes around on his BMX bicycle collecting junk from the past and trading it in at these depots for water and comic books. And water is scarce in this world, by the way. And so it's
Due to
hard to
acid
come by.
rain and the nuclear winter.
Yes, that's why
That's
it's
what brought it about.
post-apocalyptic, you know.
It's so great. I mean, like, it takes him... He just loves Turbo Rider. Turbo Rider is this comic book character, and he's trying to look like him as much as he possibly can, and he wants to be that
his
character.
hero. It's his comic book hero.
It's his comic book hero, and he's living in this apocalyptic time where, again, all these wonderful things are in.
And there's been a trailer for it, so you see that he
You can see kinda where it
eventually comes and becomes Turbo Rider, only he's Turbo Kid.
But he runs into one of the most amazing characters of all the Sundance films, just because she was so unique. Her name is Apple in the film, and she just is the glue almost that kept all this together. I mean, every time she was
super
there,
bubbly for a reason.
her
won't go
presence,
into.
her presence was just so felt the whole time.
Yeah, you didn't. You wanted her once she was introduced in the movie. You didn't want to lose her. You wanted to keep her on screen as much as possible.
Exactly, and there's these directors. They took a grindhouse film. I mean, there's blood running all over the place.
The
There's
movie
people
is
exploding.
It's
insanely violent. But they take that and they put in this super adorable relationship. And that's what I think. That's where I think this hive mind of directors were able to bridge the gap between people who will never like a grindhouse film to people who actually will be like, no, I really like that. Like, they were able to bridge that gap between people who would just walk out of it and people who wouldn't.
Yeah, the movie had a Mad Max kind of tone to
kinda
it.
A lot of fun.
But I loved it. Instead of like the decked out cars that people are driving around, you're seeing them ride these bicycles. Even like the
Trikes.
hardcore villains that are just wearing these like skull helmets, and one of the main henchmen had like this buzzsaw-handed that he'd use to kill people.
Skeletron.
Skeletron. And he'd get on his bike. And he'd ride his bike into battle.
Hold on. We also got to throw this out. Michael Ironside.
As
They
the main villain,
got
yeah.
Michael
As the main
Ironside to be
villain,
the main villain in this.
Zeus.
His name is Zeus, and he is that main villain collaboratively from all of his past awesome 80s films. It's just they somehow were able to score this. But I mean, they left it open. An open-ended movie too, so hopefully this movie does well. Like, this is the one we're all crossing our fingers.
Yeah, this
will get out there and do well. They're planned for a lot of film festivals and screenings in other countries, but I'm not exactly sure. They didn't really say too much about where it was going to be.
This was the
here.
most fun I had at Sundance. This film was insanely entertaining.
So much fun.
It was just fun to watch.
Yeah,
It's just a good time.
I'll say it's. I don't think it's for everybody.
No.
Like we've kind of gone over.
Yeah.
But if you're into any of these 80s kind of films, post-apocalyptic films, anything with the comic book genre, if you're into grindhouse, you're gonna come out of this just.
It's
gonna
be the best version of all of them.
You'll just be so happy.
It's the best modern version of all.
So Turbo Kid.
And I hope
Turbo
it gets
Kid.
a theatrical release. This is one of those movies. It probably won't. It might get a limited theatrical release, but it's one of those movies that you just need to see on the big screen.
It's
just
so good.
it's so much fun, and you want to see it with a group of friends. Yeah, you gotta go see the movie
Turbo
when
Kid.
if you can find it eventually.